Hi there and welcome back to Pathfinders. My name is Erin, and again we're going to bring forth the Mazzaroth in its season. In Job 38, God said, can you bring forth the Mazzaroth? Can you order the heavens? And can you guide the mama bear with her cubs? These are all constellations in the heavens, and this is the Mazzaroth, or the zodiac. So when my son Levi Bear was born on 4/14/14 with the blood moon, I began to look up and I began to learn about the signs in the heavens. And God began to teach me about the Mazzaroth. So what I'm going to do is try to quickly explain some of the things that I've learned since 4/14/14. So I first learned that in the book of Levi, or Leviticus 23, that the Passover was to be on 4/14, or Nisan 14, or April 14th, as we call it, which is right here in Aries. See, there are 12 signs on the Mazzaroth, like there are 12 months of the year. This represents the month of April, or Aries, is the Lamb of God that takes away the sins of the world. So what I learned first was that about the Passover. I was raised in the Catholic Church and I didn't know about the Passover. I celebrated Easter. But I learned that there's a line here called the ecliptic that runs across here. And I learned that the sun sits on the ecliptic line for 3 days after being born on December 25th, the sun begins to rise. The darkest night of the year, then the sun begins to inch its way up to April, or spring. I'm going the wrong way again. It goes this way. So, in spring, the sun sits on the ecliptic for 3 days and then begins to rise again. So that was one of the first things I learned. Then I learned about the 12 houses. So God began to show me how these signs relate to the seasons and the 12 months of the year, etc. And this is how the ancient people would, how they developed time and their seasons for planting and for harvesting. So obviously they would know to plant in the spring and to harvest over here in the fall, in the sign of Libra, which is the sign of the scales, where the harvest would be weighed. And this is then the 6 months of summer, where the sun rises and is exalted in Cancer, and where the sun is at its highest and hottest. And then you have the fall, where the sun falls below the ecliptic line and goes into winter. So I began to see that these are cycles and that we are literally following the sun. So I next learned that each age is roughly 2,160 years. So back here in the age of Gemini were the twins, or Adam and Eve. This is Taurus, the bull, where the Egyptians worshipped the bull, or the golden calf. Aries is when Moses led the people out of that age of Taurus and into the age of the lamb, or the ram. Pisces became the age of the church, of the Christian religion, and of Jesus as the Lamb of God, who would take away the sins of the world. Then I learned that we are now entering the age of Aquarius. So we have roughly 6,000 years. So each age is roughly 2,160 years, and to go around the entire Mazzaroth, or zodiac, 12 ages would be roughly 25,000 26,000 years. And this is called the Great Year. Now, many civilizations have known of this. The Egyptians, the Mayans, they've all had their calendars of the heavens. And the Mayan knew of this 26,000 year cycle. And in 2012, this is when they believed this cycle was ending and a new cycle beginning. The Mayan calculated the start date of creation as 3014. Like 3.14, they realized that time is circular. It's not linear like we think of it in the modern world, Western world, but it is a circle, much like the circle of the zodiac. This is God's clock in the heavens. And to go around, like I said, the entire zodiac through all of the ages takes roughly 26,000 years, which is called the Great Year, like I said, and where they expected the great return of their god, Bolon Yakti. They and other civilizations have always represented this 26,000 year cycle with a serpent swallowing its own tail, which in this graphic, you can see the circle, and at the top there, you can see what is known now, scientifically proven, that there is a black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. This was believed to be the womb of God. And this circle of time was represented by the Ouroboros, by the snake eating its tail, or by the Leviathan. Levi, I learned, means to join. Leviathan means to join the serpent. This is where the ages begin and end, where they are joined, the ending and the beginning. Jesus said, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. He said, have you found the beginning? There will be the end as well. And he says, congratulations to the one who has found the beginning from the end. That one will not know death. This is represented by the Leviathan or the Ouroboros in many cultures, and is always seen with a young child sitting beneath it. This is called the Great Return, where these civilizations and cultures believed that their God would return at the end and the beginning of the new 26,000 year